Hey everybody, it's Greg again. It's another edition of Unbreakable the podcast. It is Thursday, August 27th. I wanted to come back and do like a part two of tribute to Dolly Parton because it's just overwhelming to me the response, the love that's being given to this woman. She is just what an icon. The more I think about her, the more I listen to her music, the more I read about her and her life, the more uh, videos I see. Thank God we have YouTube, Zoom, that we can look back on her iconic career. Uh, the more I appreciate her. And it's it's that way all the time. You really don't appreciate something good until it's gone. I mean, hopefully you do. Hopefully we all take the time to appreciate what we have in our lives, to tell the people in our lives that we love them. But sometimes we don't because life is so busy. And I think that's how I'm feeling. And I think that's how a lot of you are feeling. A lot of people grieving around the world. And I don't make like like people say, oh, she was only a celebrity, she didn't even know you, blah blah blah, country music, blah blah blah. That doesn't matter. You know, whether you're a country music fan or not, whether you are a Dolly Parton fan or not, uh, it doesn't matter. It's the person that she was, that she is. Her spirit is still alive. And we're seeing it all around the world. I mean, look, just today, uh, Empire State Building was lit up in pink. Now we have word that the Niagara Falls will be lit up from 10:15 to 10:30 tonight in pink. Uh, Actually, when I saw that online, I dropped a little note to the guy, the person up there, whoever posted for Niagara Falls, and they answered me. I just thanked them, for thinking of Dolly and that little tribute to her. The spires, twin spires, the iconic twin spires at Churchill Downs, where they do the Kentucky Derby every year, are lit up in pink all around the world. You saw, right, that the kings, the queens, royal guardsmen in London outside of Buckingham Palace played 9 to 5. There's all sorts of these tributes going on all around the world. And Dolly Parton was an American. She was an American icon, an American original. But Dolly Parton belonged to the world. You just couldn't say she's just an American. No, Dolly Parton spread her music and her love, her kindness and generosity all around the world. So that's why all of her fans, everyone around the world is grieving, still grieving, and will be grieving for a while because of her passing. Um, I usually when I do these shows, I never have a script. Usually just have a few notes on my keyboard so I know what I'm going to say. Yeah, because when you're 118 years old, like I am, you forget stuff. Uh, but these past two shows, today and yesterday, no notes, no notes. I just want to speak from my heart, how I feel. And I said yesterday, I liked her music, even in her like, heyday of her musical career, which I guess would be the 70s and 80s. Um, but more than her music, I just admire her and love her positivity. She was like a ray of sunshine in our lives. Think about that. Think about how a ray of sunshine makes you feel. When the clouds part, gloomy day, and that first ray of sunshine comes down from the sky, you feel warm, you feel good. Okay, that's the way Dolly Parton made us all feel. when we saw how bubbly she always was, how sparkly she was, and how kind and funny she was, and heard about all the generosity she did for everyone around the world, especially for children. Uh, we wish we could be like Dolly. Why aren't we like Dolly? Why can't we be nice to one another? I think people are actually getting really tired of hating each other. I just sense that. I think there's something changing in the world. Something's going on. I can feel it. I think you could too. And I think the passing of Dolly Parton just reminds us what kind of person she was, what kind of spirit she leaves, what kind of legacy she leaves. And it shows us what we can do to carry on her spirit, to be kind one. One thing I do remember growing up with Dolly Parton when she first came on the scene, and a lot of you guys out there watching may not remember this, maybe too young to remember, but when she first came out, as this country music star, she had the amazing voice, but because she was so gorgeous, and her wigs and her makeup and everything. But let's face facts, she was very busty. She was a busty lady. And I saw an interview yesterday where she said, I think she was with Conan O'Brien and David Letterman. She said, not that I'm overly busty, I'm just a tiny lady. Yeah. I think back in those times, back in the 70s and 80s, it was different. It was a much different time. And Dolly rolled with the punches. So let's say she went on a Johnny Carson show or Merv Griffin or one of these shows. And they would tease her. They would tease her about her bust. They may make some comments, which would be inappropriate nowadays. But back then, nobody thought anything of it. Now, when you look back at it, it is very sexist, some of the comments made. But you know what? And Dolly knew it. She was smart. She was a smart person with a lot of common sense. I think that's why a lot of us can relate to her, because she had so much common sense. She came from a poor background, one-room cabin, 12 kids. I think a lot of us can relate to her. Being very, very poor, she worked her way up to the superstar she is today. But she never lost her roots. Everything was home and family. It's the way it should be, right? Getting back to the bust. So people would make comments, especially guys. They thought she was a dumb blonde. They just thought, she's got a big bust, she's nothing more than that. But and she didn't she didn't kind of fight it. She rolled with those punches and she would laugh with it, joke about it. But here's what Dolly did. She showed that she was much more than that. She was able to turn that into a positive. And she overcame all those misconceptions and judgments and things like that by her talent and voice, by her music, her song, just overcame all that. And before you know it, and nobody talked about that stuff. Her size, that kind of went away. People were more in tune with her talent, her voice, her songwriting, her music, her philanthropy. She was such a giving person, her kindness and her love. That all that went away. So she worked really, really hard to overcome those stereotypes. And she was a dumb blonde. Uh, she worked really, really hard to overcome that. And I do remember those instances when she first was on TV in the 70s, where she had to overcome that. But she did. I think a lot of people can relate to her because she did preach to us. She led by example, by her love, generosity, and kindness. And she had a lot of common sense. Not only business wise, but she just made sense. She would come on videos and say, Black lives do that. What do you think? Only white people? Yeah, she would make these points about just common sense, things that a lot of times nowadays we kind of lack in just basic common sense. Principles and morals that she lived by all her life. It sounds like she's going to be made to us soon from things. And she's going to be next to her husband, Arnold in Bosnia, in Nashville. The flowers continue to grow. I saw a Zoom video on her of her estate in Nashville. From the flowers are staying for and posters and balloons. People just stopping by and moving stuff. As well as there's a statue of her in her hotel, and that Dolly movie all around the country. And people are doing that to tribute to and as I said, worldwide tributes continue. And people are just, Paul McCartney did a tribute yesterday. So Barry Gibb did one. And it's just, everybody loved Dolly. Everybody. And the point someone made on this, Dolly loved us. Dolly is one thing that you love a celebrity and you know what they do and pay tribute to them. Whether if Dolly loved us back. And that's why she did what she did. That's why she gave away a lot of fortune. That's why she strove to leave a legacy to help kids with reading. Think about that. There are plenty of people that have tons of money, billions, trillions, okay? Do we see them giving their names to kids with cancer to help kids with reading? Do we see them donating for floods, for fires, and even the vaccine? It's just being criticized by people online or just brainwashed about the vaccine thing. But you know what? She helped to kickstart and pull us out of the pandemic. Thank God for Dolly Parton that she did that. People who are saying nasty things about her, that they're not worth the time that they trash. Don't even pay them attention because obviously they just want attention. That's it. It's one thing to criticize the lady, but to criticize her now, right after she died, while her family are still in mourning, while we are still in mourning, these people are nobodies. No respect and no love for anybody, even themselves. One final point. Somebody made a great estimate too. This hit me when I realized that it's true. We are slowly losing touch with the 20th century. Think back. All those icons back in the latter part of the 20th century. Princess Diana, John Paul II, Mother Teresa, Michael Jackson, and Muhammad Ali, Prince. We're losing most people. We're going to lose more within the next 10 years. Think about it. Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Mick Jagger, all in their 80s. Movie stars. Jack Nicholson, Dustin Hoffman, Clint Eastwood. we're going to lose more people. And see, this is unfortunate. It's just, that's part of life. That is part of life. And we are slowly losing touch with the 20th century. Those icons, those people that we grew up admiring are, are fading away. Just like people who served in World War II, heroes, are every year starting to fade. People who served in Vietnam. So we have to, I saw a quote yesterday, Warren Zevon, the singer-songwriter, that said, yeah, you've got to enjoy the stage. And what he meant was, every part of life, even the smallest problem, we have to savor, we have to enjoy, because it's not going to be there forever. So I don't think I want to say anything about this session up, is that I haven't seen in my lifetime, I haven't seen the outpouring of love, devotion, in a long time. Maybe since Princess Diana. Remember when she died in the 90s? The people left flowers for her, and there was the funeral, and people crying in the streets. And in a way, Dolly Parton's are Princess Diana. Think about that. Because yes, we grieve the Michael Jackson, we grieve the Elvis thing. But not to this extent. I mean, we miss them, and we miss their music and so forth, but we miss Dolly. It's more than her music, it's more than her song. It's her. It's her. We miss her positivity, we miss her light. We miss how she smiled, we miss smoking. And we miss that, especially now, when times can be really dark. We miss her. We miss her. And that's why I kind of equate what happened to Princess Smith, Princess Diana, so something. There was this outpouring of love, and that's what's happening there. So, do me a favor, if you are on social media, don't let the negative, the Debbie Downers get you there. They're not even worth your attention. Let's try to be like Dolly, and let's try to with one another. I think that's what she would do. Thanks for letting me speak again, or two, and I'll be back again sometime soon. And we'll talk with Asia, talk about Eagles, Phillies. I've been doing a show, Kitchener's Valley, so 650 episodes. I'm going to zoom into some. We'll come back and do it and usually do, but we wanted to take these days to pay tribute to Dolly Parton because of who she was. And as I said yesterday, life will go on. The next person will pass. I mean, look at yesterday, Tim Curry, great actor, passed away, 80 years old as well. So life will go on. The next person will pass, the next person will pass. But there's just something special about Dolly Parton, the way she touched all of our lives in ways that we can relate to. Most of us can't relate to the root of fame, but we can relate to the person who she was. And we can strive to be an example of who she was. And leading our lives with love. Thanks for watching.